Craig! Oh, I gotta start my movies. Record the videos. Yeah.
Craig Horse.
That's still so weird.
It really is. I can't get used to it.
It's called Craig Horse just for fun. Whatever. Well, I'm good with that.
Chancho, when you're a man,
That's what I was thinking of.
you gotta stretch your pants in your room. Just fine.
Jeez. There we go.
All right, let's get this started.
Atmos, welcome back.
Beyond our sky, past the countless stars and stones, far outside the ever-expanding border of our universe, there is a wall of dark, rippling fog. We are about to travel beyond that wall to a world where magic has not yet been forgotten, and the horizons have not been tamed. Tyrileth, where dragons soar and heroes are forged into legends. Heroes like the group of intrepid adventurers known as the Emerald Wing. When we last saw our heroes, they spent some time training to hone their bodies and then concluded their business in Vexlo, and said a bittersweet goodbye to the little town that brought them together and gave them their name. With their first friends leaving the battered village for new horizons and new friends pursuing other duties, the Emerald Wing left the Wind Mansion in the care of Mad Marchmaid and the automaton Arctis. With Vexlo behind them, they traveled southward along the northern ridge of the crest of Holothryn, a towering mountain range that divides the continent in half, in the direction of the great central city of Gate. Along the way, they inadvertently crossed into the territory of a deadly and unusually strong Valette and felled the beast. With only a couple of days more travel between our heroes and their destination, they stopped in Morley, where they met Bronwyn Adelis, a thief-turned-private investigator from the west, and Sorith Kosvar, a huge dragonborn warrior who bears the curse of werebear lycanthropy. The two had been hired by the monks of the monastery of his blessed Flagon, who is dedicated to Fo Wei, the god of alcohol, laughter, revelry, and joy, to get to the bottom of the mysterious disappearance of 10,000 gold worth of black dram, the monks' extremely rare and valuable whiskey. While Bronwyn's first instincts were to distrust the strangers, her companion took an immediate liking to Tamati and proved more forthcoming. These new friends decided to let the Emerald Wing in on their investigation, but not until the following day. Full moon at hand, they needed to get Sorith a safe distance from town, and restrain him to ensure that no innocents could be hurt while his animal rage was beyond his control. Our heroes accompanied the two out of town, and after a tense night during which Sorith threatened to break his chains, agreed to bite Tamati and pass on the curse on the condition that the Goliath use this power responsibly and take caution on nights of the full moon. With that, our heroes returned to Morley, seeking to unravel the disappearance of the monks' bottled black gold before they resume their travels. And that is where we will begin tonight's adventure.
I'm a werebear! So excited!
Unless the animalistic instincts are like, wait, why should we fight each other when we fight others?
Cool. Okay. So
Where did we
last week, you had pretty much, Tamati had just been bitten and could feel the change beginning to happen. And you were on your way with Bronwyn and Sorith back into the outskirts of Morley so that you could go and begin your investigations of the Blessed Flagon.
excellent.
Wait, since Tamati can turn into like a werebear, does he get advantage on perception?
Yeah.
He gets advantage on perception checks related to smell, yes, because...
Woohoo! You're a bloodhound.
It's going to be great. Yes, excellent. Okay. So we're going into the Blessed Flagon Monastery.
Yes, returning to the Blessed Flagon, because you stayed overnight outside of town.
Perfect. Okay. And do we have what's his face with us? That where are my notes? That gosh.
The abbot.
Yeah, the abbot. Abbot. Time for notes. That's the notes. Okay. Yeah, Abbot Barley Malt. That we can, because he was the one that was in the room next door to it, watching the doorway, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll need to ask him some questions.
So is this a place where you can like spend the night to sleep, or is this like?
People do. They have sanctuary for travelers, and there are occasionally travelers that pass through. So.
So would it be possible to like get a list of anybody who is new that was there, like within the month?
Yeah, that might be possible. It'd probably be something you would have to
Ask.
speak to the abbot about, and they may be a little hesitant to give out the names of their guests too freely. But
So just a quick recap. Could you mention, so the abbot was outside, but like watching the door the whole time?
Yeah.
Yes, the abbot was in his office, in his study specifically, which is right across from the storeroom in which the black dram was kept.
Okay. Was the door open or closed, or is there no door?
The door was open.
Oh, I thought you said.
Yeah, the door was open.
Missed
And
me.
you could see
I don't have to talk loud. You guys can hear us.
yeah, the door
I know,
of the
right?
study. The door of the study was open. The door of the storeroom was closed. That's where you're.
That's
Okay.
what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
He could see that no one entered and no one came in or out during that time.
So you may have like detect magic.
Honestly, most of my magic's like power trick stuff. Except for like two of my spells.
No. Sadie, are you around at the moment? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Sweet.
just making sure. I don't think you have detect magic, do you?
I don't, but I'm proficient in Arcana. That's the best I can do.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
So we're just like looking into, like we're just looking at the area and inspecting it now. Is that everything?
We're
You
trying
can
to find.
begin wherever you want.
Okay.
We're looking for a corner.
Can us like look around and see if there's like trapdoors that might
Sure.
exist.
Yeah, if you want to go examine the storeroom specifically, you can do that.
Would that be investigation or perception?
Like just going to look is not a check yet. Just if you're looking for specific things.
Yeah. Let's head that way.
All right.
I want to go in and see if I can like sense any magic in the area.
Okay. So you guys make your way into the center upper levels of the Blessed Flagon. It's a fairly large stone building. It has several floors, and most of the really large rooms are down on the ground floor or in the cellars below, but there are a couple of storerooms up here on the second floor of 3. And the abbot's study is right across from here. This is a medium-sized storeroom, which is where the drink disappeared from. And it is completely enclosed. There is no apparent way in other than this single door.
Yeah.
No chance of like mouse look around to see if there's any trapdoors, anything.
You could make an investigation check to see if you find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like if anybody, you're gonna have the best chance of finding that.
Mm-hmm.
Being sneaky.
There's no interest here. 13.
13.
Okay. Yeah, you take a few minutes and you look around, kind of feeling the walls to see if there are any walls that give or seem like they're not firm. It seems like all of the walls in here are pretty solid. Like as far as you can tell, there are no hidden doors here. Nothing like that. It appears to be secure.
What if they were never there, but were like illusions?
There was never any black dram in here.
I knew it.
They've been robbed before and then like after. Fine.
If there's no trapdoors or anything, then that means that the person that did it must have used magic to either go through the wall or to make it so that the people in the front forgot that they let something in.
Yeah.
So we're looking for someone that has magic power. Magic.
Yeah. Can I use my newly acquired sense of smell to like see if there's any different smells like that stands out weird?
Sure, make a perception check with advantage. You don't know specifically what you're looking for, but you can...
Yeah, I just want to find something just off.
Yeah.
Oh, I love advantage. It's either a 19 or a 2. Woo! Woo! I'm never rolling that dice ever again. Okay. Okay, so 19 plus 4 is 23.
Nice. So you transform into bear form for the first time.
No!
For which, by the way, I need you to make a...
No!
Wait, what?
Oh my gosh!
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
No!
Oh, it's okay. It's plus 1.
He's new to this, you
Woohoo!
guys.
17.
All right, so
man.
as for the first time you shift into bear form, you feel this incredible surge of power, and with it there's this strong sense of rage and hunger and something uncontrolled just beneath the surface, something beyond yourself that is, it's like you have this channel open to some kind of just this consciousness that is beastly and angry and only wants to rip and tear and destroy. And for a second, you can feel it kind of trying to push forward and take over your mind, but you manage to maintain your control. You kind of grit your teeth against it, and you were able to maintain control. Sorith, still being with you, turns and looks at you and like looks you up and down with some concern. He's just like, "Are you all right, friend?"
This is amazing. Whoa! I thought my rage was bad. Oh, just got nothing on that.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I must warn you,
I'm okay.
for some time, it will take you some time to master the beast within. The beast within will try to control you.
Okay.
It may be wise to make sparing use of your transformation for now.
I was more thinking that I would just have an improved sense of smell because of the ability, but not that I would turn into. So I will learn that for next time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can smell better. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm not sure what the rules as written would be, but I'm going to say that works when you're in bear form specifically.
I'm okay with that. That's good to know. Yeah. Now that I say it out loud, it would make more sense in that way. But
yeah. But
okay.
Sorith just advises you that things like when you're this early on, it's harder to control. It will take you a little time to get used to this, and you'll be able to master it completely with a little practice and a little.
Excellent.
But at first, the sheer force of the beast within is so strong that it can just completely overtake you, even if it's not the full moon.
Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah, like you.
Very good to know.
So the tactic here is to push somebody else towards something.
Fly away.
Transform.
I'm gonna walk over to each of the party and just give them a good sniff. Then I can kind of figure out what our smells are as opposed to what's in the room, what's around, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of weed out
After
what
he
I don't
comes
know.
over and smells, kind of brush myself off awkwardly. It feels weird.
Yeah.
Mouse just like gets into it, like it goes like this. That you can get all the snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you sniff around the room. You kind of acquaint yourself with the specific smells of all of your friends, so that you know you're not mixing them up with stuff. You sniff the general. There's this sort of damp stone smell that you hadn't noticed before in here, just from the fact that this is a stone building and there has been enough rain recently that it's slightly damp, a little musty. They do clean it out fairly regularly.
Well, you'd hope so.
And you can also smell from elsewhere in the monastery. You can smell the sense of cooking bread, that warm, fresh bread smell. You can smell cheese that is aging in some of the different chambers. And you can smell, above all, the scent of fermentation and of this kind of floral, deep, dark, the smell of the beer they brew here. And as you approach the remaining crates that hold the black dram, you sniff the corks on the tops of the bottles, and you can smell that this is infinitely more complex than any of the other smells here. It smells it's this rich black whiskey, and you can smell like caramel and vanilla and cinnamon and leather and smoke. It's very unusual. It smells amazing.
Uh-huh.
And you can also, just in the background, you can smell that there is something else just kind of off. It doesn't smell like anything you're familiar with in here. There is something that smells faintly of most of the beer you can smell smells fresh. This smells like stale beer and sea air with a hint of seaweed. There's this saltiness to it.
Yeah, that's the smell I'm looking for.
Vegemite.
What is that?
Vegemite beer.
No.
No, what's that other thing, David? The like salty Vegemite.
Yeah,
Marmite.
the Marmite.
Yeah.
I love Marmite so much.
I tried, man. I tried.
Nasty.
I put in a good effort.
I don't know how you people could stand any of that stuff.
I think with what I had you try, we might have put a little too much on.
Okay, that's fine.
Easily.
I think
I
you had-
like it. I just can't.
I think you had. I think I put it on myself.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but I love it.
Random question. Totally not to do with the game like right now, but since he has such good smell when he's in bear form, when he controls it, does that mean he can like be better at brewing now because he can like smell different ingredients and know what goes in what?
Potentially, that would be possible. It's funny to see this giant bear just like sitting over.
Oh, ingredients.
Just walk over to like shop owner. I need that.
That's not to touch you.
Just
Thank
a
you.
giant bear like holding a giant wooden spoon and stirring the brew kettle.
Bring me more saffron.
Sorry, we can continue.
That's
That's an herb, right? Okay.
Yeah, there is this sort of sea air, stale beer smell. It seems to be strongest close to the crates, but it doesn't have a trail. It seems like it just sort of appears.
Is the abbot with us, or
The abbot's not presently with you, but he would not be far away. He may even be in his study across the way right now.
Does it look like there's a is there like a residue of any kind on the ground, or is it just the smell?
Make a perception check.
Dang
No advantage this time because it's
Oh!
not, so.
it! 9? It's a terrible dice.
you're glancing around, but you get the feeling that you're going to have to get used to the way that your eyes work differently when you're a bear, because the structure of your eyes is slightly different. Things are just a little changed. You're having a hard time seeing things.
Okay.
Maybe you'll adapt to it in time, but you don't really see anything.
It's probably a good thing because I was going to lick it. So tossing that out there. That's what was going to happen. Okay. So I'm going to turn around and tell everybody that smell, it's different right here. This black dram smells amazing.
Jesu calls in the abbot to ask him
Whoa.
anything about like that hint clue.
Okay.
I wanna do an Arcana check in that area, or
Okay.
a check for magic. But I think my spell check thing is. I have to check it real quick. Yeah. So Arcana.
Yeah.
That's a 12.
Okay. There's a very, very faint magical signature remaining here. It doesn't, as far as you can tell, it doesn't seem like the kind of residue left behind when there's been a spell cast, but rather that there is some kind of magic that is inherent to something.
Oh,
Like
like
something,
they use
something
magic in
magical.
their brewing kind of thing.
There is magic used in the brewing, and you definitely detect that. You're having a hard time telling if that is all you're picking up on or not.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's the signals are a little crossed here.
Sure.
I will be back in a moment. I have to use the restroom. Sorry for the interruption.
You're good. I'm only half focusing right now. Stuff at work's going crazy right now.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I'm not on call. Ha
It has moments where it's like, yeah, you're gonna freaking murder us, Daniel.
I'm not gonna murder you.
Just like two of you.
Just wreck you a little bit. Keep trying to think of like doing a deeper voice, but I don't really have any deeper voice.
Do the trinket, the ooh.
I like cheese.
You turn to the werebear. Oh, Paul.
Yes.
I'm going to rage.
Hardest part with doing that voice is you can't maintain it for very long.
I know.
Be cool
The
if I could.
best thing. Did you ever see the where they do what's it called when they do movie scenes with different character voices? At Comic-Con it's called Twisted Tunes. So they'll have like the voice of like Christopher Walken as like
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they did Winnie the Pooh as Darth Vader.
Oh man. I don't know whether it's gonna be Darth Vader with a high "oh bother" voice, or if it's like Winnie the Pooh with like dark "I am your mother."
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
sorry about that.
So good.
I've seen that.
Oh man.
His werebear voice should be Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. I would like to rage. Yeah.
I think it's time to rage.
Jim Cumming was recently a guest on Talking Tunes.
Really?
You
Nice.
need to watch that still.
Yeah.
I'm a few episodes behind on Talking Tunes though, so
I'm behind a lot on Talking Tunes.
yeah. Anyway. So Jasu went and got the abbot, yes?
Yeah.
Alright, so the abbot comes in and he says, was there something you wanted to ask me in particular?
First off, what's his reaction to seeing a giant werebear in his office?
It's, like,
It's pretty casual for seeing that.
Yeah, when he
Just
when he first comes in, he does kind of have this like, oh, like, you know, just like, hello. Yeah.
Yes, he tells him to not worry, and then he grabs the quarterstaff and smacks Tamati.
I just look over you like with a.
You're
Are you
immune to that
serious?
damage.
You're complaining about me gonna kill you, and you whack me with a stick. You die first.
Yeah, just you're immune to like non-magic damage.
I just take it and just stare at you for a long time.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
No! Chris, you're gonna kill us all.
What else is new?
Oh, good. That's an 8, not a 3. That's a little bit better. That puts me at 12. No, wisdom. Sorry, 9.
Okay. Yeah, the beast takes over. You lose control.
Oh!
Like you kind of feel yourself mentally taking a back seat. Like you're no longer driving. You're inside this incredibly powerful body. You're suddenly very aware of how powerful it is, and you are also very aware that that beast, that sense of like anger and destruction, is in the driver's seat now. And so
Holy crap!
so you, without being able to control, you take some claw attacks at Jasu.
Ah, no!
Which I will roll for in a second here. I think I told you about claw attacks, and I don't remember exactly what I said about it.
Was it 2d8?
I believe you said 2d8.
They're 2d8, and it's your attack
Plus-
bonus. What's your
plus,
attack
yeah.
bonus?
8.
Okay, so the first attack is
Sorry.
let's see, that is a 12. I think that's a miss.
Yeah.
So he swipes at you once, and you kind of not like you see this sort of red light come into his eyes, and you are very suddenly aware that Tamati's lost control. And
Jeez.
the second one you are not so lucky, because that is a 20.
No!
Not a natural 20, but a total of 20.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. But you try to duck out of the way, and he catches you pretty good with his huge claws for, let's see, 15 slashing damage.
Jeez. Okay, when I see this,
I'm awesome.
I'm gonna.
So I'm gonna use prestidigitation, and like, how big is the room we're in?
It's probably like maybe 20 by 20 feet. It's a
As
sort
far
of-
as far away as possible from us, I want to just do like a smell of like delicious like cooked, barbecue meat kind of thing.
Okay.
See if that catches his attention,
Yeah,
because he has high smell right now.
I don't have
Yeah.
more else. Like, do the... Should I wait?
Yeah, after that attack, you get another wisdom saving throw to see if you manage to regain control.
I'm using my Dragon Guarded dice. Nope. That was a 2.
No.
Sorry, everybody.
Can Mouse like throw the or do the Tasha's hideous laughter on him?
Sure, yeah.
He's gonna do that.
I will say,
What is-
Tasha's hideous
Daniel,
laughter.
Tamati, make your save for this with disadvantage because you're not really,
Focusing.
yeah, you're not really in control, and the beast is not super focused. So,
Wisdom save.
yes, I believe so.
I rolled a 6 and a 7. That was great. Man, I'm doing hot tonight. 7 total.
Yeah. So you fail your saving throw against Tasha's hideous laughter. So yeah, you just like this huge bear just like collapses to the ground, holding its belly and laughing. Like, it's kind of unsettling, but that does actually manage to bring you back into control. Once you get over the Tasha's hideous laughter a little while later, you're back in control of your body now. So. The early days of being a werebear, man. You're not
Woo! It's gonna be rough.
like there will be challenges, there will be advantages, but you may have some difficulties here and there.
May not have thought this all the way through, but we'll just step by step.
I think you're gonna have to complete the group before you use your spelling powers again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't too sure how this all worked. So.
And, by the time you are on the ground laughing, Sorith is like halfway over to you. He was rushing in your direction like he was going to do something to restrain you. But he looks down at you laughing, and he kind of looks around at the rest of the group, and he's like, "That is a good trick. I like that."
What did he say? I missed it.
It's a good trick.
That is a good trick. I like that trick.
Me too.
But the abbot looks very taken aback and a little concerned. Sorith turns to him and says, "Do not worry. He is young and has not yet learned to control himself." Yeah, there's just this giggling bear rolling around. Yeah, that was clutch, Heidi. That could have gone worse. That could have been rough.
I was ready with my scroll of remove curse. I was ready to.
Yeah. The disadvantage of that would have been that he wouldn't have been able to take on his bear form for the rest of the day had you done that, so.
Yeah.
We could have been more in control there, though. Which had we known if John Tony the first time would have to wisdom saving throws. Might have.
Lots of
One
things to learn.
Yeah.
Counseled over first.
Just kind of like walking over with his course out, just kind of pats somebody on the shoulder, just like,
Yeah.
just wanted to see what I'm up against.
Yeah. After like probably 30 seconds to a minute, somewhere in there, Tasha's hideous laughter does wear off, and you were able to regain your composure. You're back in control of yourself. You're a little shaken by that. You don't like the feeling of not being in the driver's seat of your body.
Oh yeah.
And Sorith, once you're back again, Sorith says, "This is why you must be careful for its early days. It is very dangerous. And the longer the beast is in control, the harder it gets to wrest control back from it. It can I have seen men taken by the beast that never came back.
Good to know.
Oh, jeez.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
For now, be careful with it. You will come to
Okay.
control it better in time. It will be much easier. But for now, be careful.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Anyway.
So, nasty, awful, salty smell over here.
Yeah,
Let's start with that.
the abbot started to run out of the room, but after he hears everybody talking, he kind of comes back in and peeks his head around the corner.
Good.
He's
We're all good here.
The abbot is he is a dwarf. He's not as strongly built as a lot of the dwarves you've known. He looks like he indulges a little too much. Got a little bit of a pot belly. He's got that comfortable dad bod thing going on. Where he's just yeah. And he comes back in, kind of looks over at Tamati warily, but not werebarily.
Ah!
But he
That's what I named my last In the Wings. Way there. Okay. Anyway.
but he looks at the rest of you and says, you had questions.
Yeah. So, well, in this form, I have a heightened sense of smell. And the only smell that is out of place at the moment... By the way, this black dram... Oh, I want some really, really bad. We'll get back to that. In this area, it smells like salty sea ocean air. It just smells off. Not sure exactly what it is. It doesn't lead anywhere. Rin, you said you detected some magic around it.
yeah. It's kind of hard to tell because there's like a little bit of magicness kind of all over in here. So it's like I'm getting mixed signals in here.
The black dram does contain some residual magic from the process of production.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible that's what you're sensing.
That would make sense.
Tell you what, if you all are able to solve this for us, to take care of this and recover whatever may still be surviving of what has been lost, because I must acknowledge that in the case of a consumable like whiskey, there is a good chance that some of it will have been consumed by the time you find it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you find it, perhaps as part of your reward, we could include a few bottles of black dram.
Ooh.
Do I notice anything else in the room?
At the mention of the inclusion of a few bottles of black dram, you just look over at Sorith, and he's just like, we'll get to the bottom of this. Definitely.
I just lean close to the bottle and smell it again. Just, oh. Yeah.
Tamati,
Yeah.
where specifically was the weird sea ocean smell coming from?
Right here.
Okay, can I check for magic right in the spot that he showed me?
I had assumed that was where you were checking for magic to begin with.
Okay. Because the first time I wanted to do just like a general check of the room.
Yeah.
But if you thought I checked there, then we'll say I checked there. It's fine.
That had been my assumption, but I can...
Yeah.
It's so weird. Whenever I put the Facebook video over here, one page of my PDF starts blinking uncontrollably.
No, that's
It's
weird.
distracting.
It's got Tasha's hideous laugh curse on it.
Yes.
Try this!
Which is funny because it is currently open to the Werebear stats page because I was looking to make sure I was right about the claw attacks. But yeah,
I'm your first victim.
First blood.
We all knew this was going to happen.
Just not this quickly.
it
Such a close space.
I really wasn't expecting that to take over that quickly.
Yeah. It can be dangerous this early on.
Oh, yes. I have noticed.
But the abbot thinks about what you've told him and says, well, a sea scent, I suppose you could, I don't know, you could speak to Sister Amitahita.
We're in a landlocked province.
He says, Sister Amitahita Rinka, she's, she comes from Wenrius in Rivane. She is, so far as I know, one of the only 2 or 3 monks that we have that has done any significant amount of sailing. There's Brother Loyan. He comes from, oh goodness, I've forgotten. He comes from a small island in the Kinteric Ocean. Tadumi, something like that.
What's his name?
Brother Loyan Viata. He's a Gripply frogman.
Oh.
Sister Amitahita is a Goliath. You could speak to either one of them. I believe they're the only 2 we have here that have any experience with the ocean or sailing. Other than that, I believe that most of our brothers and sisters here are relative locals from Sereda at the very least, not from islands or from abroad.
Good to know.
Abbot Malt, right?
Barley malt, yes.
Barley malt.
Okay. Is there anything in because our friend Tamati he's working off smell. Is there anything that like the original I don't know like the same kind of crate or something that could like we could take with us, you know, to like if we get close to it like we could reference the smell compared to something
Identifying smell.
Hmm.
I don't know. The black dram itself is fantastic.
I'm not sure. We use the same sort of wood for our crates, no matter what the product. So all of the crates are the same. He'd likely have better luck seeking out the scent of the whiskey itself.
Okay.
That is the path forward.
That's Tamati. Is that wood? Is that sea smell like on just like walls and stuff, or is it like on something that's movable?
Not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's
More
kind
of a general smell. Yeah.
it's kind of just around that area.
Okay. Because if we could like take a little piece of like wood or something, maybe like if.
Yeah.
Okay. Go. I'm sure you'll.
For the most part, it's more of an aura of smell.
Okay.
It's a very distinct smell. It's not something you're going to forget. It's not something you need a reference to pick up again. It definitely is. Like there's, in addition to that stale beer and salt air, there's almost like this kind of unpleasant background of wet dog, and just like it's pretty distinct. It's something that you will.
Would it be
recognize.
something that I recognize from traveling?
I don't know how to answer that without potentially saying something that could be sort of spoilery. I guess you're kind of clued in by the fact that it's that salt air smell. Have you done any sailing in your history at all, or have you just been landlocked on Sereda?
I think we may have gone across the sea a time or two.
I imagine, given your character background, you likely would have, the furthest you might have traveled could have been to like Arwai or Rivane or maybe out to the Raven's Eyrie, given your background.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your call. If you've done any sailing, you make that decision, and we can.
I'd say probably not a lot. Not a lot of sailing.
Okay. Well, if you've done at least a little bit, I'll let you make a history check, but with disadvantage.
Sure.
Samaeus' tea has caffeine in it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
That's why I'm freaking out. I can't write straight. It's glorious.
Yeah,
I'm like, I've been tired all day, but now I feel great.
That's a 12.
Yeah, Samaeus', Jasu's, and Rin's all have caffeine in them, so.
Yeah,
That
I've
makes
been
a
having,
lot of sense.
yeah, Daniel, that mate, I've been drinking that since I was in my mom's. Drinks it every
Nice.
day, and I drink it almost every day. So
That explains so much.
Yeah, the thing about mate is that it is like 9 parts caffeine.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It is very, very caffeinated.
I was just wondering where that hideous laughter came from. That's good.
Anyway, Rin, you said that was a 12.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're not familiar with this. It is you haven't encountered anything like this.
Okay.
Mati, have you ever seen an ocean?
Lots of
Okay.
them. I've never been on them.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the super smeller. Just saying. Not gonna do me any good.
But yeah, the abbot says, well, if you're looking for Sister Ametahita, she is likely working in the kitchens, helping with the baking of bread. If you are looking for Brother Llewellyn, then you will find him in the fermentation cellars on the basement floor, where he will likely be working on our latest batch of Black Draft.
Please talk to him, or should we just go together?
It's usually a better idea to go together.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can always split the party if you want to.
We'll go.
I mean, it is a legitimate choice to split the party. You don't have to.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's generally more dangerous if you're actually in an obviously dangerous position.
Says the dungeon master's waiting.
There is also the chance that a situation will unexpectedly become dangerous. So, like, keep that in mind whenever you choose to.
The Gripply's actually the thief, and he jumps out
also-
and beats you senseless.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, you're not really expecting to get randomly jumped in a monastery. Like, they're just
Got mugged by a nun.
Yeah.
It's okay. She was drunk nuns. Drunk nuns.
Well, let's go to Brother Luano. Whoa. Loeon.
Brother Gripply.
Yes.
Yeah. Best Gripply.
Wait, is he from the place where like Ripley's and Goliath are like best friends?
He actually is not. Sister Ametahita is. She's from Wenrius, which is the city that was founded by Goliaths and Grippleys on Rivane. But Loeon was from an island that you have never heard of, and you're not entirely sure that the abbot actually got the name of the island right, because he wasn't sure about it either.
Sure.
But he's from an island in the Kinteric Ocean, which is the central ocean between Cerreto, Lotach Velest, and Karas Eletrin. So it's the southern ocean from where you are.
Okay, well, let's talk to the Grippy first.
All right. So you make your way down to the basement level, and you look around a little bit, and you find a very, very large room that is filled with these huge barrels that are used for the primary fermentation of the beer that they produce here. Each one, you would guess, is probably, they'd have to be close to 3,000 gallons each. They are probably about 10 feet in diameter and around 8 feet tall. They're these big, almost vats more than barrels. But and you can kind of faintly hear a small bubbling from them that indicates that there's fermentation happening in them.
Excellent.
And are you still in bear form, by the way? You're just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Some of the monks in here are definitely a little taken aback when you come in.
Yeah.
There are several monks and nuns working in here that are. There's one section where they've stoked a fire underneath. There's a chimney above it to let out the smoke, and they have stoked a fire under a very, very large brew pot that they're currently stirring grains and stuff in. And
Cool.
you look around. You're kind of bowled over by the smell of the fermentation as you come in here. You in particular, because it just smells very, very much like yeast and grain.
Yeah.
And this kind of sweet, sort of bready, yeasty smell that fills the whole place. There's also, you can smell this sort of green, grassy, slightly bitter hop smell because of the hops that they use in their beer. It's a pretty pleasant smell overall, but it's very strong. And for someone with your sense of smell, you're kind of just like, whew, as you come in, like
It's a bit rough. Yeah. I
yeah.
can imagine.
And there's a bit of an alcohol scent as well from the barrels that are further along in the fermentation process.
Cool.
And as you look around, you see that there are a number of monks and nuns in here, probably 11 or 12 total, that are working in different stations throughout the room, doing various different bits of the process. And among them, they're mostly human. There are one or two that look like they might be half-elves or elves. And there then is one Gripply, very short, probably about 3.5 feet at most. A small Gripply, frogman. He has like sort of a deep green skin, almost teal, but mottled with brown. You would guess that from his coloration, he's probably a tree Gripply, not one of the poison variety that tend to be more brightly colored. And he's wearing a much smaller version of the same dark habits that everyone else is wearing. And he's currently just working on smoking some grains over a patch of charcoals, grains that will be used in making some of the beer.
Perfect. I'm gonna let somebody else do the talking to start with because he's 3 feet tall. I am over 8
Because
feet
you're
tall.
a bear.
Yeah.
I'm a big 8-foot tall bear, and he's very small. I don't want to be too intimidating to start with.
Okay. I will go up to him and just say hello.
Okay. He sees you coming forward, and he kind of nods in greeting. He says, "Hello, sister. What can I do for you?"
The abbot said that you come from an island?
This is true, yes. I come from the island of Taduli,
Oh.
far to the south of here.
Mm-hmm.
The Central Ocean, the Kintirik Ocean.
Oh, I see. We just my friend here, and I just to Tamati in his bear form. We've been trying to investigate the missing whiskey, and he said that in the room where you keep your inventory, that there was a smell of like salt water and kind of just grimy, wet dogness, I suppose. Would you know anything about that?
Huh. This does not ring a bell for me. I have heard of this. The abbot told me of the loss of the whiskey. But how did you describe this smell?
Just kind of
Stale beer, salt air, and wet dog, primarily. Smells like the docks that haven't been kept up, almost.
I know this smell. I have experienced this smell. But not here, not inland like this. The last time I smelled anything like that was on the ship here. It has been many years.
Can I smell him?
Sure. Yeah, you don't need to make a check for that. Like he just smells. There is kind of a damp smell to him, which you assume is probably due to the fact that he is a frog person.
Yeah.
He smells pretty clean. Oddly enough, though, unlike everyone else that you have met in here, you don't smell even the slightest hint of alcohol on him. He's completely free of that scent. He has some of the basic, just general scent of the whole monastery kind of has this smell of beer, but you can tell that he smells like the grains, but there's no alcohol on him, which is unusual for this place.
I'm gonna call him out on it. It's like, why? I don't smell any alcohol on you. Either you have perfected every wayward child's dream of trying to elude their parents and not have smell of alcohol, or what's the deal?
He kind of looks around at the other monks and nuns to make sure that no one heard. And he said, "Not so loud, my friend. It is,
Oh, sorry.
It is. This is a personal matter. I prefer not to speak of it."
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Like the fact that you don't drink?
15.
Yeah, he seems a little uncomfortable, and he definitely seems worried that you get the sense that he's worried that the others will hear about this, and it's almost like the impression that you get when someone, like that high school sense that someone is worried about being judged by their peers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at him like, we're not here to judge. We're not here to spread rumors. Your secret's safe with us. I'm just curious. Trying to get to the bottom of this as fast as we can. So is it just that you don't drink? More or less?
I would rather not speak of this.
You were saying that you're familiar with this this dock smell that we were discussing?
It's for the most part, it sounds like it smells like a ship. The wet dog, perhaps not, unless your sailors have poor hygiene. But it does not sound like anything other than a ship. The sailing that I have done, I have smelled something very like this.
How close are we to the nearest town?
The monastery is basically right outside Morlaix,
Okay.
like within a quarter mile of the
So
town.
I ask him, do you know if there's any places in town that, I don't know, like are like a ocean ship kind of themed tavern, or like, I don't know, anywhere like that in town where there could be that smell?
It would be hard to replicate it without going to the ocean. There are several taverns in town, but none of them that would match anything like what you describe.
If this whole place smells like alcohol, how do you prevent yourself from smelling like alcohol?
He looks around again. I am sorry. I do not wish to speak of this. It is a personal matter.
That sounds really, 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 really suspicious, sir.
He kind of shrugs. He's just like, I am sorry. It is not something I would wish to speak of. Well, at all, but especially in mixed company. Those, my brothers and sisters may have thoughts that I would not blame them for having, but I do not wish to open this to them.
Where are the people in the room?
Huh?
Where are the other monks and nuns in the room? Are they
They're kind of scattered all around the room. They're doing different tasks. A couple of them are over at the huge brew kettle. Some of them are just checking at the various fermentation vats. The closest one is probably only 10 or 15 feet away, so Brother Loeon is not particularly comfortable in these kinds of quarters.
Ooh.
Should we go somewhere else so you don't sound so suspicious?
Make a persuasion check.
I got one.
He not going anywhere.
I just need to be quiet.
He slapped you with his tongue.
he
I was thinking.
looks at you. Yeah, he looks at you. He looks down at the grains that are sitting over a rack of coals that he is currently stirring, and he looks back up at you and he says, "I am a bit busy at the moment."
What if we could guarantee that we can keep your secret?
How do you mean?
Well, my friend and I, we have the capability to make spaces of silence so that no one else would hear you talking.
If the magic you speak of is that which I am familiar with, we would not be able to hear each other speak either.
No, I wasn't thinking of putting us inside.
I feel my brothers and sisters would notice if it suddenly got very quiet. They could not hear themselves say, stirring the pot, or what have you.
Sure.
At this point, I'm going to break off from the group and just kind of sniff around, see if I notice anything,
Okay.
any dissimilar smells anywhere.
Yeah, the smell of fermentation in here is so
strong.
overpowering that you can barely even smell the individual people within it unless you're close to them.
Gotcha.
It's pretty just awash with the smell of the yeast and the fermentation. that happens in here.
Okay.
Look, if you wish to speak to me, perhaps we can speak later, but for now I have duties to attend to.
Sounds fair.
That, yeah, sounds
I-
promising.
Sorry if we came off a little forward.
No, I understand. You are trying to reach the bottom of this. I recognize where you are coming from, but I am not comfortable having such discussions here.
Sure.
Perhaps later I would be willing to open myself more in a more private setting.
Okay.
My apologies.
No, we understand.
He kind of goes back to stirring around the malted grains that he has on this smoking rack, and he just looks like he's probably not going to be able to tell you anything more right now.
Go find the Goliath lady.
All right.
Unless Tamati picks up on anything with his super sniffer.
Can he, Tamati,
Already tried. What?
can you, just kind of keep your nose open for
At the
that?
moment, it's about all I can do. I mean,
It's like-
well,
I have
I mean-
to breathe.
No, I just mean like,
Got it.
keep
Still plus 8 intelligence, okay.
kind of just in the background, like looking for that scent of the ocean griminess.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Rin's having a stroke.
Ah!
Are you guys gonna go? Are you guys gonna go try to find Sister Amitahita then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way upstairs, and you find the kitchens pretty quickly. There is
Yep, I do.
even those of you who don't have enhanced senses of smell can smell the baking bread and other such products from quite a ways away, and you just kind of all follow your noses collectively until you reach the kitchen. And it's a large kitchen. It's well kept, very tidy. There are workstations, several standalone, like standing cabinets that are islands in the center of the room that have various people working on various different recipes. And there are probably 8 or 9 different monks and nuns in here. And you do see immediately that although most of them are either human or dwarf, there is one Goliath woman in here that is currently working on kneading a huge bowl of dough.
Man, these people stand out like a sore thumb. It's like a Disney movie. What door do we open?
Yeah, she's wearing the same dark habits as everyone else, but it's a little hard to mistake a Goliath. They're obvious.
Not realizing him in bear form. I kind of lean up against the wall, get extra. How you doing?
She like clutches a hand to her chest. She's like, oh my stars!
Sorry. I forgot.
Are you a bear? I mean, obviously you're a bear. Are you always a bear?
I love it.
We just. I'm sorry. My apologies. We don't get many talking bears through here. I'm Amatahito. Sister Amatahito. What's your name?
Tamati.
Tamati. That sounds like a Goliath name of one of the mountain tribes.
I'm gonna hold up a finger, take a quick sniff around to see if I notice the salty smell, and then shift out into Goliath form.
You mostly
Just
just
go up and
smell.
sniff her.
Yeah,
You have beautiful hair. She's probably like maybe 10, 12 years older than you are. She
Age
is
is just a number. We're good.
Yeah, she's reasonably attractive, but she is just
About 26.
I mean, after 20, when you're Goliath, it's all downhill. So.
Yeah, like 27, I think.
Yeah, pretty much all you can smell in the room is the smell of
Just the bread.
baking bread.
That's kind of what I figured.
And of
Yeah, 27.
some of the meats that they cook for visitors in the tavern hall. Things like that. But, yeah, you shift back into Goliath form, and she's a little bit taken aback by it, and she looks you up and down, and she says, "Oh, you are a Goliath." Well,
Yeah, it's recent development. I'm trying something new, you know.
As I'm behind you, still like bored a little bit.
This is why I'm not
I haven't had time
married.
to heal, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what brings you here?
Well, we're actually in the process of investigating all the lost black dram from upstairs, and
Yes, I've heard about that.
yeah,
Both the abbot and the abbess have been very, very upset about it.
yeah, it's a really weird situation. But while we were up there, we noticed the smell of like salty air and stale beer and a wet dog kind of a smell, and we figured the abbot kind of said that you and this other brother were seafaring. You lived on the islands, and so you might know more of where that smell would come from, or where we would look to find anything
Brother
along those lines
Llewellyn.
here. Yeah.
Yes, that would be Brother Llewellyn and myself. Yes, it's true that we're the only ones here who have done any sort of sailing, and that does sound vaguely familiar, but though honestly I'm not sure it was anything other than what the sailors smelled like.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Brother Llewellyn?
Yeah, we talked to him a little bit. Said kind of the same thing. He remembers the smell, but nothing stands out in his mind as far as what would cause that smell to be this far inland.
Yes, well, it is. Brother Llewellyn would likely know more than I, so if he doesn't know, then I'm afraid it's unlikely that I'll be able to help you. But poor Llewellyn, he's had a rough time of things.
Well, really?
Yes, but I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to tell you anything that he would not tell you himself. You understand.
Fair enough. Yeah, I do. Do you know each other well? I mean, did you come over here at the same time, or you just meet here? Or?
We met here. We've been here I've been here around 6-7 years now. Brother Llewellyn
Oh.
has been here, I think, 17 years.
Wow.
He's something like 32, I believe. It's middle age for a
Yeah.
Griffley. He's been
Yeah.
at the monastery since he was 15.
Wow. It's very early in life to find your calling, I guess.
Perhaps for you or I, Griffley's lives are shorter than ours.
It's true.
In 11, 12, 13 years, Grippleys are generally, that's what they would call adult. So
Fair enough.
he was a few years into adulthood when he arrived here. But Brother John Wesley, human, one of the monks here, he helped Brother Llewellyn with some difficulties he had some time back, and when I arrived, I chipped in a bit, so the three of us are quite close.
Gotcha.
It's just, the three of us are actually some of the only unmarried monks and nuns at the monastery. It's a bit hard to find mates for a Goliath and a Gripply when we are the only ones of our kind here. And as for Brother Wesley, I think he just never found anyone who suited him, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I have a question. Do you have there been any, I don't know, any people in the past that you've had trouble with, like, trying to steal the brew, or I don't know, being rambunctious, or anything?
It does happen from time to time. Usually young acolytes who have only been here for a few months. They're generally cast out, not allowed back in. If they break their vows in that way, then the abbot and the abbess unfortunately cannot have much mercy in that realm. You understand.
Mhm.
But we have not had new acolytes for a couple of years now, where we usually don't go this long before someone turns up.
What happened to the last one?
The last acolyte?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's Sister Haida.
Yeah.
Sister Haida is still serving here. She was not one of the ones who caused trouble, but
Sure. What about the last one who was dispelled?
last one who was dispelled would have been 5-6 years ago. Can't recall his name, don't know what happened to the boy. Late teens, early 20s maybe. An elf. That's all I know of him. Haven't seen him since.
Can I insight check her?
Sure.
She's a glass. She's telling the truth.
When we find the Goliath, they'll be the most honest villain we've ever fought.
I'm gonna crush your skull.
Yeah, you're not sure. She seems to be being straightforward. You don't get the impression that she's holding anything back from you, but your only real experience with Goliaths is with Tamati, so you are not super used to reading them.
Sure.
but you're not under the impression that she's lying to you.
Yeah. Just want to check, even if my rolls suck.
Telling you, man, she's honest.
Yeah.
Oh. I have to use the bathroom again. I'm sorry, you guys.
Sorry, let's talk about you behind your back.
Yep, that's what I get for trying to stay hydrated.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm David. I have healthy kidneys. Man.
Oh man.
So, yeah, we're getting nowhere.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Jeez.
Do we maybe like check into town or something?
I mean, we'll eventually have to go there. I was really hoping the frog was gonna smell like it and be like, "Yeah, done, piece of cake, solved murder."
Yeah.
I mean, case.
I wonder if we need to, I don't know. Not that I want to go and other people we don't know, but if we could find someone that has detect magic.
Yeah.
Or locate object.
Missing bottles. Shh, shh, shh. He's back. He's back. Shh, shh.
I am back, in fact.
I guess you guys can see him. I counted back.
Magic.
Magic. Clearly, you don't have detect object.
Nope.
Don't objectify me.
Let's talk about your glasses. Okay.
My eyes are up here.
Yeah. I'm like staring at my screen going, it's about all I could see, too. Yep, that's it. Awesome.
Anyway.
Okay. So. Man. I want to go back to the room and see if there's anything else there, but there's not a whole lot there.
If we go to the town, I mean,
Yeah,
you sell something like that on a black market.
it's true.
You guys want, I don't know how big the town is with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you think they'd sell it that close to the monastery, though?
Or
I
that
mean-
soon.
I mean, maybe not, but
If you guys talk about going into town, Bronwyn kind of shrugs, and because I'm just remembering she's here.
Yep.
Bronwyn
It's true. Yeah.
kind of shrugs, and she says, in my experience, stolen goods like that, even if they have a fence nearby, they likely wouldn't sell it this close. It's too obvious. They're grapevines. Word spreads too easily.
Yeah.
It would be unwise. In my experience, criminals are not necessarily the most wise individuals you'll come across. However, it seems unlikely to me. We're welcome to go if you wish. I would doubt it.
Pretty elaborate.
Bronwyn,
Yes?
do you have any magic capabilities?
Not especially, no.
Hmm.
I have some knowledge of magic, but that's about it. Just beyond what my tiefling bloodline grants me, anyway.
Sure.
I use thaumaturgy and open all the windows.
And I close all the windows.
Well, did you guys have any thoughts or places you want to check? I mean,
What was the timeline again between the alcohol being dropped off into the storage room and the abbot sitting down? Was it just like
It was like maybe half an hour to an hour. He probably was. He made sure things were order in there, and then he went across to his study and sat down.
okay? So he like put it in there and then went to the box.
Yeah.
And then how long was it?
What's that? I didn't quite catch that.
How long till they discovered that something was missing?
He went back in to check it, I believe, a couple of hours later, and it was gone.
How much are we talking about? Like, how much would it take a normal person? Like, could one person move all of this?
Not all at once. It's 100 bottles. It's it would have been a few crates. It would have been several crates at least. So
like, do you think that this could have been done by more than one person, or like, could one person do all of that?
Your estimate, looking at the crates you saw, it would be 12 or 13 crates worth of black dram disappeared. It would, if it was one person, they would have had to have been in and out over and over to go back and get the.
What if they like created some kind of portal or something? Because all the smell is in one spot, right? So like.
That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So they
certainly
just
possible.
Shove it through the hole or something. Yeah?
Good. I'm gonna. Are we still by Sister Amatia?
Sister Amitahita, yes.
Amatia. I'll just ask her. Do you know if there's any monks who have like higher magical abilities?
Well, I believe there are one or two of the monks that practice forms and very old fighting traditions, but I don't believe any of ours are users of magic to any great degree, other than the abbot and the abbess, who use divine magic granted to them by Foway. They almost only ever use it in the process of making and distilling black dram, however.
Because Alter Memory is a pretty high love spell, almost. I don't know if they've done that.
How many people know about what time it's moved? The product is moved. Like, is that something pretty commonly known?
Yeah, it's like in the monastery, things are kind of just communally known, and the word spreads quickly. There's very rarely any reason for anyone to keep secrets from one another here.
So everybody would know.
Yeah, everybody would at least have a general idea of it. But according to the abbot, also, pretty much all of the monks that even could have been open at the time have alibis that hold up. They have other monks or nuns that will vouch for them that they were elsewhere at the time this happened.
Is it so publicly known that people besides monks and abbots would know?
Probably not, no. The guests that stay here, those who seek sanctuary, those who stay overnight, that sort of thing, they're not nearly as in the loop as the actual brothers and sisters of the monastery.
Freaking out.
It's having a stroke.
Oh, is my internet crapping out?
I'm still here.
I can hear okay.
We're good.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like my internet started crapping out partway through that. But I was saying that the guests and like the guests that are staying here, those who have taken sanctuary here, that sort of thing, they are considerably more out of the loop than the brothers and sisters of the monastery. They're not nearly as aware of the goings on here.
Let's have not Tamati, but
Sorith.
who's the other one?
Sorith.
Maybe we should have Sorith turn into a werebear, and maybe we should just walk around the monastery, see if we smell somewhere
I
else.
want to turn into a werebear again.
Yeah.
I understand why you say that, but I want to.
Because I mean, maybe like the smell will also be in like one of the guest rooms or something. So if, like if Sorth can smell it, then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like there has to be some kind of person on the inside that might not have done it because all of them have solid alibis, but that either is maliciously giving out that information or absentmindedly just talks too much and gave away that information.
Let's just know that David's probably like banging his head against something like, oh, how can
He's
you not
like,
figure this out?
You're all wrong.
I'll say if you're talking about the sort of thing that Sister Amitahita would probably cut in and say, actually, brother John Wesley is he handles the accommodations for visitors. If you have suspicions that might have been a visitor, then you could speak to him. He may be able to offer you some insight.
That's the one who part of the friend trio, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Wesley.
Yeah. My dear sweet Wesley.
Yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he knows.
But yeah, that way if like somewhere else in the monastery has like that smell, then
And
Because even if
Sister
we get, like-
Amitahita says, well, Brother Wesley usually tends the bar in the visitors area where the those who are staying here, those who have taken sanctuary, where they stay, where they eat, the common room for visitors. You can
Perfect.
speak
I
to
need
him
a
there
drink.
if you wish.
Let's
And she,
head that way.
Yeah, she gives you brief directions. You've already been there, but she gives you brief directions anyway. This is, it's the same area where you went and had drinks with Bronwyn and Sorith when you first arrived. It's a large sort of tavern-like area, and although the walls are covered with murals depicting various stories of the followers of Fo Wei and the things that they have done, and you head back in there, and with the description that Sister Amitahita gave you, you recognize that Brother John Wesley is in fact behind the bar at the moment. He's probably somewhere in his, you'd say, early to mid-60s. He's human, hair that is mostly silver. There's still across the top of his head. There's still some streaks of what it looks like he had a very like bright, fiery red hair when he was younger, and there's still some little streaks of that kind of give him the sandy look to the top of his hair. But it's completely silver at the temples. And like a lot of the monks here, he's very, very slightly overweight. Like he enjoys his life. He eats a little more than he probably should. He drinks a little more than he probably should, but not so much that it would be a problem. Just kind of like a little doughy.
Nice.
And he sees you coming up to the bar. He nods to Bronwyn and Sorith, who he recognizes, and he says, "Good evening, then. Are these your friends?" And Bronwyn nods, and Sorith says, "Yes, these are our friends. Good people, these people. Especially the Goliath."
Heck yeah!
And Bronwyn kind of just grins and like, "We'll see."
I like him.
So what can I get for you then?
Something good.
Well, we are trying to look into the missing dram.
Ah, right. Yeah, heard about that. Sounds like strange business.
Was there
Can't
anyone
understand how it would-
here in the bar that day?
Oh, that day? Well,
Or around that time?
people come and go. I could check the record to see if anyone... There were a few people that stayed. Not everyone that came stayed, though.
Sure.
I could look over the books, though. If it's official business, that is. Sorith just kind of nods as a... Yes, very official business. The most official.
Most official.
Nope, what was that?
We lost Chris and Heidi.
Oh, snap.
Facebook.
We're coming back in.
Anyways.
He,
So
from under the bar, Brother John Wesley pulls out a big, heavy, leather-bound guest book. He pulls out a big, heavy, leather-bound guest book that looks pretty worn. Like, it's probably the kind of thing that they replace every few years, and they're a little overdue for replacing it this time. It has that look like where some of the edges where it sits on shelves have been worn down, and they're about 3 shades lighter than the rest of the leather on it. And he opens it up. He starts turning pages backward until he reaches the date a few days ago, on the day that this happened. Well, let's see. We had, looks like 7 guests, 3 of them sanctuary. They've been here for some time. The remaining 4 were, there was 1 or 2 merchants, looks like, and someone that came through from Mardaway, headed south. Elf was headed in the direction of Cheyenne Alai, according to what he said.
about how old was the elf?
Hard to tell with elves, really.
That's true, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you recognize him at all?
No, not familiar. And there was a woman, human, came up from the south. Gave her name as Captain Ruja Sukran.
Captain.
Captain.
Did she
Did
smell
she-
salty?
I mean, I don't know that she smelled salty. but
Was she a salty sea captain?
She was definitely a sailor. Didn't particularly smell salty. We're at least a week or 2 inland for most folks. Likely any salt air would have blown off her by the time she made it our way. But sea captain from the south.
Can you say what was her name again?
Ruja Sukran.
Ruja.
She stayed a few nights, actually. Just left 2 nights ago.
Hmm.
How long ago was the stuff stolen?
About 4 or 5 days.
Okay. Do you know what room she was in?
She stayed in one of the standard guest quarters. Didn't want to pay for anything nicer. We don't have a great deal much nicer, to be honest. But she stayed in one of the guest rooms. I can show it to you if you'd like.
Please, that would be great.
Looks like, and he checks over the book. He says, looks like no one's booked there at the moment, so we won't be disturbing anyone.
Perfect.
Excellent.
And he calls over to another monk that is coming back through a door that leads through a few other rooms to the kitchens, and has that monk come forward and take over bartending, and he leads you off in the direction of the guest rooms. He takes you down the hallway where you've reached the guest rooms, and about 3 doors down on the left, he takes you into a small, simple, humble little room that is neatly furnished, but it's nothing fancy, just kind of a simple, small room for one.
Cool.
I want to check for the same kind of magic vibes that I was getting in the room with the inventory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make an Arcana check for that.
Can I assist?
Sure, yeah.
Assisting.
Come on.
Really kind of them.
That is a
There you are.
21.
Nice. So the two of you kind of try to cast out your senses around the room.
Thing.
See if you can find any magical echoes that sort of feel the same way. Rin describes the way it felt to Mouse so that you kind of know what you're looking for. And the two of you look around. The room seems pretty bare, but after a few minutes you do notice that over in one corner there does seem to be a very, very faint sense of that same magic that is just kind of... It's so faint that it's hard to even sense, but it's there. There's something that feels not quite natural off in one corner of the room.
As to Mike, can I smell anything?
Do you want to transform back into a bear?
No.
So,
No.
before everybody goes in the room, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, I want to transform into a bear. You guys stay in the hallway. I'm going to close the door. Get that laughter spell ready again.
Well, let's say because she has spell slots.
Yeah.
Which she does.
Just in case.
I have the scroll of curse if we absolutely need it.
I mean, if we don't have the laughter, then I'm kind of hesitant because that works so well, and I can stay as a bear.
We also have another guy who can turn into a bear. Just saying.
Yeah, Sorith does turn to you and he says, I can take this if it
It's
will
true.
not be safe, my
I
friend.
gotta practice.
Quick question. Does he need to turn into a bear to gain control, or does it just happen over time if he doesn't turn into a bear?
Gaining control is a process. It just it will take a while, no matter what he does.
It's like a tuning.
He just kind of it's such a huge change, and it is connecting him to something that is so powerful that learning to control it will take some time, one way or another.
Also has 2 level 1 spell slots left. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, she only has
I
2.
will.
You will laugh.
I usually do. I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, we can, yeah.
Sorith says, it perhaps would be easier for me to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you practice another day, Mike.
You don't understand. I have superpowers. Okay, fine. Go
I just
ahead.
pat him on the shoulder.
Yeah. And Sorith says, do not worry, my friend. Control will come. Perhaps sooner for you than some. You seem stronger of will than some that I have helped in the past.
It's good to know.
And Sorith transforms into a werebear and practically fills the hallway as
Oh,
he
jeez.
does. And
That could have been me.
No.
Like, Sorith is already a huge guy, but in his polar bear form, he's even bigger and bulkier, and it's... but he turns to all of you and he says,
If you would follow me,
Sure.
Heads into the room. He begins sniffing around. He sniffs that spot that you were sensing something in.
Yeah,
and,
I pointed out to him.
Yeah, he sniffs there and he says,
Yes, smells salty, strange. Sounds like what Tamati told us about.
Interesting.
I kind of want to go over to the spot and kind of just start feeling around my hands to see if my hands like disappear.
your hands do not disappear.
Dang.
But there definitely is the sense of something here. And
Cool.
Brother Wesley is still with you. He's kind of hanging close just because, not that he doesn't trust you, but it is his job to take care of this stuff. So
Sure.
See you, Heidi. Sorry.
Good night, Heidi.
So she left 2 days ago.
Yeah, but if she's able
where'd she
to
head to again?
get the stuff out, make it look like she was never in there, and stay longer, then it takes the suspicion off of her.
And Brother Wesley chimes in and he says, truth be told, I saw Captain Sukran leave. She left with only the bags she came with. She couldn't have hidden 100 bottles of black dram in them.
Unless she has like a portable hole or something.
Bag of
I don't know if my character knows about that, but
It's true. She could have had some sort of magical item, but it seemed that she had 3 or 4 bags. I would imagine that if she had such a magical item, she likely would have loaded everything into one bag instead of carrying it all.
What kind of bag?
Simple, dark canvas bags.
you look like that. We point to our bag of holes.
Yeah, I was gonna say mouse.
Yeah, they don't really. The way he describes them, it doesn't sound like they resemble a bag of holding. Although bags of holding come in many different shapes and sizes.
Well, I mean, she's so far the strongest link that we have.
Plus the weird oceanic smell is both in her room and in the inventory.
I mean, we've already been to we've seen Duggery store stuff in the pocket dimension, and we've been to another.
Sorry. I just got a notification from Marco Polo that said, "Talk with Heidi today."
Who was the person in the room before her? Do you have that far record for that far back?
It says, yeah, there was a man came through here, halfling, Dezik, I believe was his name. Don't remember his first name.
Okay.
Why does Desik sound familiar?
Random name generators are pretty consistent.
What if, now that both of you have had the smell, what if we just like spend like 20 minutes and just walk around the monastery and see if we can smell that smell anywhere else? Yeah.
It's kind of hard to smell inside the monastery because there's a lot of smell in there.
I know. I just, I mean, like any other rooms or anything. Like maybe she didn't work alone. Maybe she's in cahoots with someone.
Yeah.
Just 10 minutes. And if we don't smell anything, we narrow it down.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Do
if
I
you
notice
guys wanna-
anything else weird about this room before we leave?
Nothing seems particularly unusual about it.
Can I do like a general perception check to see if there's anything just off in the room?
Sure.
That's what I wanted to do.
You can do it. You can do
both
it. I'll give you
Just-
advantage. How about that?
Huh?
Said you can do it and I'll assist you. It gives you advantage.
Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Oh my heck, they're both 9. 16.
Nothing else is off in this room. It just seems like a room.
Talk to Brother Wesley real quick and say, were you the one that cleaned the room? Is there anything left behind, or?
Well, I delegate the cleaning. I didn't have anything to do with it here.
Fair enough.
Went on to one of the monks or nuns under me. I'm not sure which one.
Okay. They didn't report anything weird found or anything like that. So okay. Dang.
I'd say by this point it's starting to get on into the evening.
Okay. Yeah, let's Chisu, did you have any places in mind that you wanted to like specifically check? I mean, like any thoughts of locations?
I mean, how big is the monastery?
It's a pretty large place between the
Let's
3
see.
floors and a fairly spacious floor plan. There are a lot of different rooms at it. The whole place accommodates I think somewhere close to 50 monks and nuns that live here regularly, plus they have brewing halls and they have cooking halls and all sorts of storage, and there are places that they host guests and those seeking sanctuary. It's a pretty large complex.
I mean, I figure most just kind of like walking by the guest areas to see if, she had any other accomplices. And then if not, we just try and track her down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about the merchants actually that he said were there too.
We could narrow it down and like do the people who he mentioned were here.
Yeah. Sorith, remaining in bear form, kind of sniffs around the hall and just sort of takes off down the hallway.
Following.
Oh, following.
Yeah, he like you follow him all the way to the main entrance where people generally enter the monastery. And he's kind of looking around, sniffing the air, and he says,
That salty smell, it trails out to the entrance.
There's a trail this time? Fantastic. There wasn't last time.
It ends here, but leads from the entrance into that room.
Is there?
From the entrance
is-
to that room?
Yes, it is much fainter out here than it was inside.
Mm.
Oh, could have the smell just because it's outside just dissipated?
More than likely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's definitely not in the monastery. So, well, you want to follow him? Like wherever she went to, so we can figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, how at this point? It's fainter. Is there still a trail though?
No, it kind
Goes
of
cold.
fades to uselessness at the entrance.
Okay. What if we go back to the inventory and see if there's a trail from there also.
It didn't smell like there was much of a trail. It was just localized.
Yeah, there was no trail there. It was.
There's got to be a connection. I'm just trying to find it.
It's magic, man. Just throwing me off.
But Bronwyn cuts in and says, well, Brother Llewellyn said that maybe he'd be willing to speak to us under more private circumstances. I expect by now he's likely at least approaching the end of his. Perhaps we speak to him.
Okay.
And
Probably.
I have to go to the bathroom again. Sorry, guys. Interruptions ahoy.
Caffeine is worn off. I got nothing in my head.
My kidneys hurt.
You drink more water.
I think that's actually a true thing, actually.
Yeah.
If you don't get enough water, you can start to hurt and stuff.
That would make sense. I drank a lot more water than I normally.
So let's think about it. I mean, you got the nasty smell. It leads faintly from the entrance to the room.
And it's also in the inventory
Yep, it's in the cellar room, whatever it is.
cellar. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going. I know there's a better room for it than inventory.
You could just have kill two birds with one stone. We could just have Thorn run around the monastery while we talk to the Gripply.
Yeah.
Just like that way we
Both of
can
us be bears and just both of us take a floor each and just run as fast as we can. But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be inside the monastery a whole lot. I mean,
I know, I'm just trying to get a connection.
yeah.
We just want to find a connection between the captain and the missing whiskey.
Did he say which direction she was headed, or she just came from the south? I don't remember. Okay, I'll ask him when he gets back.
I need the Bex load.
Gosh dang it.
I knew it. I mean, like you said, it's like 13 crates. It's hard to smuggle.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's what I'm wondering.
Magic.
Was it like a pocket dimension or like a, like a portable hole? Because the portable hole can hold.
It's true. But I don't know as far as like carrying extra stuff. I mean, if I had a portable hole, I'd carry a little bit of stuff and make myself look like a faster moving vagrant than I am. And
I'm back, by the way.
welcome
Hi.
back.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You stole
My
my
name
beer.
is Moana of Motunui.
Did they mention where the captain was heading?
Brother Wesley thinks. Direction of Mardaway, I think.
That's a long ways off. It'd be a good place to front something.
I
Do a lot of
spoke to her.
backtracking though.
Spoke to her a bit. She seemed like a nice woman. Said she had some former business partners that had settled down in that area and that she was retiring from the business. She worked in shipping, I believe. She carried freight between Soretta and Rivane mostly, a few trips to Arwai here and there. I believe she had gone on one or two broader voyages as well, but those were the ones she spoke about in detail.
Those are the areas I've been to also, correct?
You've probably been to at least one of them, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I've never claimed to be a brilliant judge of people, but she seemed to be. She seemed to be on the up and up. She
Sure.
didn't act suspicious. She didn't disappear oddly. She was either in the tavern, or she was out in Morlaix itself, or when occasionally she would call for us to bring her food in her quarters. But
What about the merchants that were here that night?
the merchants, they really only stopped in. They didn't stay nearly as long as Captain Sukran. They dropped in for the night. They ate their food. They went to sleep, and they left. Didn't really have any greater interaction with them. Didn't seem very talkative.
Is the salty smell in the room, in the corner of the room where we found the smell, is it smellable by humans?
It's maybe just barely, if you know what you're looking for. It's not the sort of thing that you would notice if you were not specifically trying to catch it, but
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm just thinking, this is a pretty happening place. If she left 2 days ago, then that smell would have dissipated faster. At least in my mind, it would have. And if he's smelt that from anybody else.
And when Bronwyn mentioned speaking to Brother Llewellyn,
Yeah.
let's see if Brother Wesley actually caught that. He did hear that. And although Bronwyn was speaking quietly, Brother Wesley does catch it, and he just kind of clears his throat. Brother Llewellyn, you say? He's
Yeah, we were talking to him about that smell that we smelt. He lives on an island, and so we were curious to know if he would associate that smell with anything in particular that could help us.
I can see the connection. He's been here for a long time, more than half his life, but he does come from a seafaring background originally. If you're going to speak with him, please be kind to him. He really is a good man. He's had some difficulties, shall we say. Things that we don't usually talk about here. It's not my business to say. If you're going to speak to him, and if he feels it acceptable, if he feels comfortable speaking out to you, perhaps he'll tell you.
Fair enough. Okie dokie.
I expect he won't want to speak of it in the taverns, though.
Yeah.
If you want to speak to Brother Llewellyn, I'll make sure that one of the empty storage rooms is cleared and instruct the cleaners to ignore it for the evening, and you can have a quiet place to speak to him if you prefer.
It'd be great, yeah. Be greatly appreciated.
Sorry, crying baby, what'd I miss?
They're gonna open up a storage room for us to go talk to Llewellyn.
Okay.
Make sure that nobody's around.
Nice.
Yeah, you kind of make your way back towards the tavern area, and along the way, Brother Wesley speaks quietly to a few monks and nuns that he passes here and there. And they all do the same thing. They kind of nod and they turn and walk away and go to apparently deliver a message to someone else.
Cool.
And you wait in the tavern area for maybe 5 or 10 minutes before Brother Loeon shows up. And he comes up to you and he says, "So, I hear there is a private place that we can go to speak."
Yeah, Brother Wesley has been gracious enough to give us a room that we can go talk in.
Brother Wesley is one of the best men I have ever known. He will see to it that we are kept to ourselves for this conversation.
Excellent.
And
Saunter into the room.
you and Brother Llewellyn make your way off to one of the empty guest rooms that it appears to be kind of off, tucked into a corner, a little used, a little bit dusty in here. It looks like it's cleaned, but not nearly as frequently as the other rooms. Almost like the cleaning staff here kind of forget that this room exists from time to time, and it just sort of goes a little longer because it's a little more out of the way and people don't pay as much attention to it.
Sure.
And the door shuts behind you as you come into this room. And Brother Llewellyn goes and sits on the edge of the bed. He says, "It is not easy for me to speak of this. You understand?
Sure.
It is complicated. For a worshipper of Fulway, alcohol is considered sacred. We are taught to treat it with respect, to use it with wisdom, to not abuse it for our own purposes. And it is considered sacrilege to overindulge, shall we say. Those who are not able to keep their urges under control. It is not good, to say the least.
Gotcha.
Those who overindulge, the wanton, sloppy drunks, they are considered to have a sickness. It is to be treated, but not to be accepted. I had served here for a few years before I realized that I had this sickness. That I could not regulate my use of the sacred alcohol the way that Fulway would have me. I am what some outside these walls might call an alcoholic. It is dangerous for me. It is too easy to lose myself in the tankard and forget about everything that matters.
Sure.
And I did not recognize this for several years. It was not until Brother Wesley came to me and expressed his concern in private that it became clear to me. And I feared I would be cast out of the monastery if my abuses came to light. Brother Wesley helped me get myself in order. It went a couple of years that way before it is so easy to have a relapse here. It is
I can imagine.
it is available everywhere. We the god we worship, the god I worship, I still regard alcohol as sacred. It is what we do. We produce beer, whiskey, many other drinks and spirits. It is deeply important to me. It is the act of creating it is still spiritual to me. For those who can use it safely, but for me, I found myself sleeping, and Brother Wesley and Sister Rinka Amatehita. By that time, she had arrived, and they helped me out of it. Each of us is afforded a share, a monthly allowance of sorts of all that we produce, the alcohol, the food, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Brother Wesley and Sister Amatehita my share for a time, but they seldom used much of it. Our shares are generous, to say the least. It went unnoticed, but a few years ago, this may sound a bit mad. A few years ago, in the cellars, I found a strange little man. Green skin, red hair. He called himself Ernin. I found him drinking whatever he could get his hands on. So, when I confronted him about it, he was a bit nasty, actually. He's an irritable little fellow. But after we spoke for some time, I learned that he was a creature I had not heard of from the Feywild origin. He called himself a Cluricon. Said he had once been a leprechaun in his youth, but that things had changed somewhere along the line. He was drinking whatever he could find. When I tried to tell him to leave, he used magic to try to confuse me, but my people are perhaps not as easily confused as some. When he realized he could not make me leave, we began to try to make a deal. I told him that with his power, perhaps he could protect our cellars from thieves and vandals. We do have problems with such things from time to time. And that in return for that, he could have my share of the alcohol, some of the food as well. Because I am a small man, you see this. I do not eat as much as some of our larger brothers and sisters here. More than I can eat is allowed to me each month. Each week, in fact. He agreed. He has been guarding the cellars since. He's a disagreeable little fellow, but I think in his own way he is trustworthy. I do not think he has taken the black dram, but perhaps he might be able to give you more information than I can about this matter.
Where is he now?
Likely in the sub-cellars, in the lowest floors.
Should you
cold storage where we keep the mostly large barrels of beer that we are preparing to ship out.
would it be good if you came with us and kind of like introduced us and then maybe ask questions instead of just us going in? Meeting?
Perhaps although my duties for the day are complete, I have things I would wish to attend to, but...
I mean, just as long as he's not going to like, be scared of us or something, or he's your friend.
Friend is a strong term.
He's your business contract.
Something like that, perhaps, yes. Ernin is... I don't think Ernin likes anyone. I don't think Ernin has ever liked anyone. I'm not sure he likes anything except for the beer that I give him.
Mm-hmm.
If it would make you more comfortable, I could go ahead and speak to him. Perhaps. But once that is done, I should return to my duties.
Yeah, I don't think it'd take very long while we're down there.
It probably would make him more inclined to trust us if you came along.
If that is what you feel.
And he could even just introduce us and then just say you have to go do stuff.
I could do that for you.
Thank you.
Honestly, I do not like dealing with Ernin any more than I think anyone else would. He is honorable in his own way. But he's a bit of an ass.
Cool. I'm gonna go back to the bar. The bartender is on, and buy a bottle of something.
Okay.
How much is it?
Huh?
How much is it for like that really nice brew?
For the whiskey?
Yeah.
Here it would be 100 gold piece a bottle. For a single shot, you're probably looking at like 10 gold pieces, I would say. Just a single glass.
I don't know if we go for the high end stuff. Maybe just a bottle like the Black Flagon.
Yeah, the Black Flagon is cheaper by quite a bit. It's probably like you could get a pretty sizable tankard of it for 5 silver pieces.
Wow.
Let's do that.
Should we end kind of soonish since now we're down 2 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, might be wise.
Like,
I mean, I'm happy to continue if you guys want to, but we can also stop if you prefer.
Yeah, we could stop here before we go talk to Ernin.
Ernin, yeah.
I'd love to keep playing, but Heidi was mentioning how she gets kind of bummed. Like,
Yeah.
Just share the spelling of that because it's...
I was so close. It was an E instead of an A.
Yeah. It's all very Irish, so...
So very Irish. Yeah, as soon as you're like, I'm a leprechaun but changed, I'm like, ah! That's St. Patrick's Day.
Here was the St. Patrick's Day stuff that...
That we didn't get to.
Yeah. Which is okay, because I've changed the general thrust of this story about 3 times since that time. And I'm happier
Nice.
with where it is right now than where it was when we started, so...
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go buy a flagon.
Alright.
Yeah.
Are we thinking we'll probably call it here then?
Yeah, I think so.
either here or like a little bit after the leprechaun, but just one of those
Yeah.
plots.
Yeah, I think we call it here. That way we have Shara and Heidi hopefully to talk with Ernan as well.
Yeah, questions that we don't think of.
Yeah.
My brain's a
I
little mushy
always,
right now.
I always hate to stop stuff midstream, though. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I don't want Shara and Heidi to miss out on stuff, of course, but it's just always like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give us a chance to find more questions to ask you too.
Yeah.
Like I said, my brain is I'm on the caffeine crash right now.
Mhm.
I'll make sure I drink either less as I go. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
I'll tell you though, the decision for Brother Llewellyn to have like a Jamaican/African accent was not planned. I just kind of started that the moment I started speaking in character as him.
I loved it.
This is what we're doing.
It's gonna be great.
It was like Travis deciding at the last second that Ford would have a Texas accent. That's
That was my favorite. Oh, it's so funny.
Brother Llewellyn is like, I was just like, he's an islander. He has kind of like a Jamaican thing going on. Sure. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
hopefully I'm not like horribly butchering that accent too badly.
That's right.
It's sort of like, honestly, I feel like it's about half Jamaican and half the accent that everyone in Black Panther was doing for the
I
Wakandan
noticed
accent.
that too.
Like, like,
Awesome.
delete that footage.
Delete that.
Voice dub.
That movie was so good, by the way.
I can't wait to see it. So
Oh, you will love
Black
it.
Panther.
Oh, it's great.
Sadie and I might go catch Ready Player One tomorrow. I imagine that would be what we'd see if we go see it tomorrow.
nice.
And that's one of those things where I'm like, I've heard the novel. The novel is kind of like the novel.
The
No.
novel.
The novel.
Enough
Full
is
German now.
Enough.
But yeah, like, I've heard the novel is kind of like Ernest Cline's writing is kind of iffy, but I feel like with the movie, I'm just like, I trust Steven Spielberg to make something cool of this, even if the novel is a little,
So I really like the book.
Yeah,
So
I know
But-
Will Wheaton read the audiobook.
yeah, that's probably what's causing me to really like it, because Will Wheaton does an amazing job as he's reading it.
Yeah. I think a lot of the complaints I've heard about the book are just like, it is just like a string of references in which Ernest Cline uses the word classic to describe everything 100,000 times. It's like-
it's pretty close.
I guess there's no real reason that Craig has to listen in on this conversation. Send Craig away.
Yeah.
Bye, Craig.
I do love that the command is just like, Craig, leave!